Hello again, I'm Bob Weir with another interview of People in the News in Texas. My guest today is Alice Linehan, Vice President of Women on the Wall, a 501c4 issues advocacy organization incorporated in Texas in 2008. In 2011, she founded Voices Empower, which seeks to hold politicians and media accountable by getting the truth out to Americans across the country. I really like that.
Good.
Thank you for being here, Alice.
Thank you very much.
If you would, please begin by telling our viewers something about your background.
Well, I'm a mother, first and foremost, and I'm a wife and have been married for 25 years. We have 3 children, 22, 20, and 15. And I got into this world of education because it was directly impacting my children. And as a vice president of Women on the Wall, we had a campaign where we were asking parents to go into their children's school, all schools, public, private, charter, and ask 3 key questions. Number 1, can I see what you're teaching my child? And can I see how you're teaching my child? What is the professional development of the teacher? What are the instructional materials? Is it online? And number 3, which is what really opened up Pandora's box and the work that we're doing today with Women on the Wall, is can I see who's financially benefiting from the curriculum on which my child's teacher is evaluated? And that has opened up the answers to a lot of questions that I think we're going to cover today in understanding how education reform in the United States over the last 50 years really is directly impacting our children.
All right, well, let's get right into something of substance. What is the state of education in the country today?
We are in a state of disruption. And if you actually dig into the documents of people who are a part of this education reform, that's the term that they use, is disruption. And they have to disrupt the system so they can reconstruct it in a new form. And the children of today in the classroom are actually the guinea pigs, if you will, of this disruption.
Is that some sort of social engineering you're talking about through education?
It is a part of social engineering, and it's a part of economics. It's a behavioral economics. If you think of targeted marketing in advertising on our cell phones, they're changing our behaviors by targeting us.
So they're not teaching like they used to teach. When I went to school, it was the 3 R's, or all the history, math, economics, and so forth. But they've infused some sort of social engineering into the education, and that's what's become objectionable to a lot of people. How about Common Core? Is that still being taught in our schools?
It is, and in fact, Texas they'll say we don't have Common Core in Texas because we didn't take the Race to the Top money, which is how they enticed states to do it. Texas didn't need to take the money because we were already implementing the College and Career Readiness Common Core aligned standards. So Texas has been at the forefront and the pilot of the Common Core. And what people need to understand what Common Core is, they'll say it's a set of standards that are English and language arts and math. But in fact, the reality is the Common Core college and career readiness standards are a shift away from what you were just saying, academics, teaching children reading, writing, math, and history, to teaching children attitudes, values, beliefs, and behaviors, that social engineering, and then assessing them on those values, beliefs, and behaviors.
So in math, I've seen some of the Common Core math, and it is stunning. I mean, it looks to me like it's they're trying to find a different way to find 2 plus 2. You know, we got to go around this way all the way to the back, so to come up with 4. Anyway, let me ask you about the difference between a public and a charter school.
Number one, a charter school is a public school. Charter schools take public tax dollars. So they are in fact a public school. The difference between a traditional public school, Argyle ISD, Denton ISD, and a charter school is a locally elected school board. Charter schools are run by appointed boards, and those appointed boards are beholden to whoever's giving the money.
That's a good difference, right?
And if you think about it, in the United States, we are not a democracy. We are a constitutional republic. And the goal of those implementing charter schools is to shift us. If you think of revolution, a revolution meaning changing our form of government,
Right.
it is a tactic to change our form of government from a constitutional republic to a democracy.
Which wouldn't work quite as well.
Which won't work.
Right. What is your opinion on homeschooling?
I am all for homeschooling. As a matter of fact, in asking those questions, can I see what you're teaching my children, and understanding the state and federal unconstitutional intrusions into our local schools, I homeschooled our youngest child for 5 years.
And homeschooling has become organized now, hasn't it? I mean,
It has, and we need to really be on guard as in Texas specifically, to make sure that our legislators are protecting our right to homeschool. And I know we'll talk about it, but in fact, the whole school choice movement is the access point to our private school and our homeschool children. If they dangle the carrot of dollars through school choice, that means that those homeschool kids, if those parents take those dollars or tax credits, they get drawn into
then
the
you pull in,
system.
yeah, it's always the purse strings that will do it.
Right.
Just quickly, why do wealthier parents send their kids to private schools?
Well, I would say that it's interesting because I know our son went to public school and he went to Liberty Christian, to private school. And I asked him, what's the difference? And he said, in public school, they're going to do everything they can to pass you. In private school, you have got to pass.
I see.
It's
I see.
and so I think that wealthier parents know that the curriculum is going to, the academic curriculum is going to be pushed more in
Right, they'll
private
actually get a better education probably, because they won't just be pushing them along.
Right.
And when they pay for private schools, they're also paying for public schools because they still pay the school taxes. So
That's right.
They go out extra because they're that interested in their children's education. We're going quickly against the clock here, but how do you feel about faith-based schools?
I think that faith-based schools are wonderful in the private school choice. But the challenge is, through school choice, the false narrative of school choice, we have shifted our education, like we said, away from academics to values, beliefs, and behaviors. So it means, whose values, beliefs, and behaviors? As if I'm paying for private school, I am paying for that Christian faith-based curriculum.
Right.
If my local public school, if I choose that and I've got a locally elected school board, then that's wonderful. But if I'm competing and all these faith-based curriculums are coming into our public schools, it's
Well-
whose values, beliefs, and behaviors.
Alice, this is so interesting. I could talk all day about this. But we are being grabbed by the clock, so I want to thank
Yes.
you, Alice, for being here and helping to educate the people about how to get the best education for their children. Thank you so much. It's a
Thank you
pleasure.
so much.
And thank you for watching.